Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today's video, we're going to be making a short, or I should say, short 32 inches tall, approximately 30 inches tall. Wow. Okay, let's start over. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Today's video, we're going to be making a short little handrail. It's going to be approximately 32 inches tall, and the total length is about 16 feet. And in that 16 feet, we're going to have a 2-foot man door and an 8-inch side panel. The customer's got some small dogs that are trying to keep separated from one room to the next, and this is going to be a good way of doing it. Now, in the existing house, they've got some staircase there that's got some decorative ironwork and some other miscellaneous decorative ironwork right in the general area. And they asked if I could kind of keep that vibe going on with this decorative ironwork. And so what I've got here is I've got these scrolls that I picked up at King Metals. The total length of this particular one is about 26 inches and some change. We've got to get to 32. So I've got some additional rectangular and square tube that we're going to add to the top and bottom to make up that distance. For the very top, we've got this decorative handrail right here. This one is about 1 3/4 inches. I've done a lot of work with 2 1/4 inch handrail, but this one here, 1 3/4 inches. Also picked this up at King Metals. They've got a wide variety of all kinds of stuff like this. All right, this is going to be a fun little project. Let's get started on today's video. Today's video is sponsored by King Metals. They've got all your fabrication needs in one location. From hinges to hardware, balusters to metal decor, brass to aluminum, and a whole lot more. You name it, they've got it. Check them out today at kingmetals.com. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, so the first thing I'm doing, like always, is getting everything all cut to size right here on the Evolution. You know, there's something, I got to tell you, the Evolution has been a great saw. I've had several of them. But this time I've got a bit of a problem with this one. Not the saw, nothing to do with the saw, user error on this. I was cutting a bigger piece of material, and a small piece of it, I was cutting a small piece off the end, and it got wedged between the guard and the blade, and I believe it bent the arbor slightly. So now when I'm using the saw, I'm getting a lot of bouncing going on. So it looks like I'm going to have to be replacing the saw here at sometime in the near future. However, I'm still cutting away. Everything is working okay, and you can see I've got the pickets here, and I got the side rails, I got top and bottom rail, I got everything I need right here, and it's time to start assembly here. Obviously on the weld table here, table dog's going in place, and I will get the bottom rail and the side rails at a perfect 90 degrees and get everything clamped into place. And then make my adjustment here on the top. With these scrolls, or I forget the exact dimension, of 26 or 29 inches. I believe they were 26 or 26 and a half, something like that. So once I know that they're adjusted in there, you can see I've got everything clamped down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the 3 3/4 inch pickets in, and then those are just little spacers to get it in the center of the top and bottom rail. And for these scrolls, you know, they're all, I have so many of them. I don't think I had like 29 or 30 of these things for the whole project right here. And they're not perfect, you know, they're very close. They're not perfect. There's some that might be slightly different than the other. So you might have to tweak a little bit on either one or another to make everything line up, but not too terribly bad. And you can see that I'm taking the scrolls and I'm alternating them. So I've got the first one, the scroll turning in, the other one turning out. In other words, making them look uniform, if you will. You can see the first two, you can see what they look like now. The third one going in, and I'll do the same with the fourth one. They'll keep alternating them so they look uniform. And I can't say enough when you're doing a fence or a gate section like this, when you've got pickets involved, to be sure that you use a square and get those pickets. Check those at least every other one or every third one, because once you start getting out out of square, bad things happen quickly. Trust me. I've learned the hard way here. So just have that square handy, and every second or third one, check, be sure you're square. I think I'm going to have it now. I'm checking every one of them. But, you definitely want to get square. All right, moving on down the project here. This is a long section. It's roughly about 14 feet long, something like that, give or take a few inches. And the idea here is to run out close to the length that I have, and I want to end up perfect. In other words, I want to be sure that I have the scrolls on the even amount, and it ends up to where there's no cutting or anything. So when I get to that point, that is when I'm going to cut a little bit off the length of this, and I'll put in my final post, and you'll see that here in a minute. Once I'm almost there now. I've just got a couple more going in. Again, having a fixture table makes things a lot easier for stuff like this. You can see everything clamped down. I mean, it's just much faster, much easier, and you get a much better project. Whatever fixture table you may have, there's a lot of them out there now, and they're all really good. It's been a huge asset for me, for the last 3 or 4 years, having this nice fixture table. All right, I'm getting down to the end right here. I believe this is going to be the last one. Maybe I went too far. Yep, I did. That one goes away, and this is where the end post comes in. I've already got pre-cut, so I'm going to line this thing up. Better be sure everything fits where it needs to be. I make some marks, and I'm just going to freehand cut this with a champion cutoff wheel here. All right, and that fits in almost good. A little gap at the top right there, but no problem with that. We'll get that filled in. Just checking to be sure everything is square. Making minor adjustments, and then here we go. A little bump tacking in here, and filling this in, a little bit of gap here and there. But for the most part, you'll see this with that big gap at the top, and that goes away. And then the last piece goes in, and that ended up just the way I was hoping. All right, with the gate section done, just a couple posts on the bottom, and this is how I'm going to be attaching it to the concrete floor. I've got 3 of them on this section. The customer was trying to avoid having too much concrete anchors going through their wood floor into the slab, and the least amount I could use, the better for them. All right, this is the gate. The same procedure here, basically. There's something you're going to see right here is the latch assembly. See this right here? I did this off camera, and it's a little thumb slide latch, if you will. When you operate it, you can see the post comes out. Now remember, this is inside the house. Nothing needs to lock. The only purpose of this gate is to just open and close it and kind of latch it closed. They didn't want any bulky latching system. They just wanted something simple. So this little thumb latch is on the inside, so when you're looking at this gate when it's installed from the outside, you don't see it. You just reach around the top and slide the bolt open, and the gate is able to open and close. I've done several of those. A pretty cool little feature. Works for applications just like this. All right, so another thing I wanted to make work is this thing to be ending up just like that, where you have 4 scrolls, each of them going in the direction they need to be to make it look right, and that's what I ended up with. And the gate was about 22 or 24 inches, which is fine. Like I said, I'll make up the difference on the side panel. Now, I just want to let you know, coming up here, I lost a little bit of footage of me putting the cap rail on the gate and actually making this little 8-inch or 9-inch side panel. But I think you're going to get the idea. For the most part, just filming this project and just seeing the build of maybe the larger panel and the gate right here. The idea is just to show you how this is done. You're not missing much by the by the little 8-inch side panel. It's basically the same thing. But I'm finishing up the gate right here, and then what's left is the cap rail, or the cap mold I should say, and that's going to slide on the top. And I ended up getting the footage of this right here, and then like I said, I'd lost the footage putting it on the gate and making the small side panel, but no big deal. I think you get the idea here. You get the good visual of what this thing is going to look like. I do have the final pictures and the of the installation and what it does look like. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.